Well, good evening. Welcome to Thursday evening devotions from the kitchen table this evening, where we've been talking for many weeks now about women of the Bible. And there are a host of women that we've been discussing. All of them were important in one way or another in helping us form our faith as well, and they still do today as well. Lent's rapidly approaching, and we're going to, I'll talk about that in a week or so. We may alter these lessons a bit. But tonight, the woman we're talking about, her name is Rachel. Not Rachel, but Rebeka. Rebeka was the great niece of Abraham and the sister of Laban. Rebeka became the wife of Isaac, who was the son of God's promise to Abraham and Sarah. Rebeka bore two sons in her marriage to Isaac. They were twins. Esau, who was firstborn, and Jacob, who came out clutching the heel of Esau. The nation of Israel came from Jacob when Jacob's name was changed by God, and then the line of Esau, his bloodline, then came the Edomites. The Hebrew name for Rebeka means to tie firmly, or a noose, or as it's applied to a female, it suggests that her beauty is by the means which men are ensnared or bound. And another meaning of Rebeka is captivating. Captivating. People were just hypnotized by her beauty. And as I said, she was a young woman of captivating beauty, great beauty. And it was noted that she was very, very attractive in appearance, and that she was a maiden who had known no man. Known no man. Oh, that was important in the Scriptures. It used to be important in our society today, but that's all seemed to fall by the wayside now. Well, Isaac did not even want to refer to Rebeka as his wife because she was so beautiful. And he was afraid that other men would become jealous of him and they would kill him so that they could get to Rebeka. Well, after the death of Sarah, Isaac's mother, Abraham, Isaac's father, sent his servant out to his hometown of Aram to select a bride for his son Isaac. The servant was provided with clothing and jewelry and gifts to be given to the bride and her family. And before leaving on the journey, the servant was worried if the woman wouldn't return with him. He had concerns about that. And so Abraham relieved his worries by telling the servant that he would be released from his oath if the young woman was unwilling to come back with him. During the journey, the servant prayed, "Lord, God of my master Abraham, make me successful today and show kindness to my master Abraham." Then the servant asked God for a sign. "May it be that when I say to a young woman, 'Please let down your jar that I may have a drink,' and she says, 'Drink, and I'll water your camels too.' Let her be the one that you have chosen for your servant Isaac. By this I will know that you have shown kindness to my master Abraham." Before the servant finished his prayer, a young woman appeared with a jar on her shoulder and went down to the spring to draw water. The conversation between the servant and Rebeka followed the script exactly as mentioned in Genesis 24. after some hesitancy, Rebekah's father and brother then agreed to let her leave with the servant. And upon nearing Abraham's home, Rebekah saw Isaac praying his afternoon prayer. She was so taken by his spirituality that she jumped down off of his camel and inquired as to his identity. And after she realized he was her husband-to-be, she put on a veil. And then Isaac married Rebekah in his mother's tent. Rebekah became pregnant with twins, and she was confused because she felt them jostling inside of her. And she inquired of the Lord, "Why is this happening?" And the Lord replied, "There are two nations within your womb. Two people from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other. The older will serve the younger." And if you were to read the story, you would see that that's what happened. A highlight of Rebekah's life, though, is her actions in the deception of her husband, Isaac. Esau was the firstborn of Isaac and Rebekah, and therefore was entitled to the family blessing. But Rebekah had a plan for her younger son Jacob to receive the blessing. Isaac was an elderly age, somewhere over the age of 130, and he knew his death was near, and so he wanted to leave the family blessing with his older son before his death. And so he said to his older son Esau, "Take your weapons and your bow and go out into the field and hunt some game and come back and prepare for me delicious food just the way I like it. And bring it to me and let me eat, and then I will give you the family blessing before I die." Now Rebekah was listening to Isaac's request and told Jacob to go out into the flock and bring me 2 young goats so that I may prepare them for a delicious food for your father, just as he loves. And then Isaac would believe that you, Jacob, are Esau, and he would give you, the younger son, the blessing of the firstborn. But Jacob was concerned about this plan of his mother's, and because Esau was hairy, and Jacob was smooth-skinned and shaven. And so Rebekah took the skins from the goats and put them on the back of Jacob's hands, on the back of his neck, and she put some of Esau's clothes on Jacob then and sent him in with the food to his father Isaac. And Isaac couldn't see, being that old. His eyesight was gone, or nearly gone. And Isaac suspected something was wrong, but he felt the back of Jacob's neck, and he felt the back of his hands, and he smelled the clothes of Esau, and he said, "Well, you have the voice of Jacob, but you have the feel and the touch and the smell of Esau." And so Isaac then gave Jacob the family blessing. Esau returned and prepared the food, unaware that the blessing had been given. He prepared the food and took it into his father Isaac and identified himself, and Isaac was shocked. And he said, "I've already given the blessing to your brother." And Esau became furious and threatened to kill his brother Jacob. And Rebeka overheard this, and she hurried off to tell her beloved son Jacob to flee to her brother Laban. Incidentally, he would stay at Laban's house for 20 years, where he would marry Leah and then Rachel. You may remember that story as well. But anyway, Jacob went to stay with Laban. And Rebekah wanted him to stay there long enough so that Esau's anger would fade away. And some say that while Jacob was gone, that Rebekah died, and she never again, while she was alive, saw her beloved Jacob. It's a hard thing to say, but sometimes we pay a terrible price for sin, don't we? She deceived her husband Isaac, and in essence stole her older son's blessing and gave away something that was not hers to give away. Well, anyway, I hope you'll read the story. It's a great story, and we can learn from it as well. Have a blessed week.